Good Tuesday morning to you. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another Tuesday with your leadership strategist, Mary May. And before you make any decisions, make sure you have your cup of tea, coffee, or a smoothie. Let me get a sip. Mm. Yeah, so let's chat about leadership nuggets and using the GPS to help you navigate just another challenge that we face as leaders in that workspace as a leader and as we are assigned. So every season for from where I sit, butterflies are always transforming. So every single conversation makes it transformation season because there's always a decision time, there's always a pivot, there's always a moment where you may encounter where you feel like you're moving in slow motion or that you're actually stuck. However, that's actually the game changing moment that really is trying to pivot you or pour into your cup so that you can not only lead unapologetically, but also understand what it is that you need to make a shift for. And so, in today's conversation, and I thank you for joining me either live or on the replay as you are navigating through your day, navigating through your morning. I appreciate you. So I hope that what I'm sharing today will be of value to you as a leader as you continue to identify ways to have that daily divorce of self, that conversation that comes when you are preparing for the next project the next day and you are considering, okay, am I truly prepared for whatever the next thing is, as well as understanding when it's time to push yourself through so that you can level up in a different way, such that you can understand in what ways are you hiding, which ways are you have functioning in clarity, and how are you positioning yourself for that level up opportunity. Because as you are navigating through, you're constantly evolving and constantly engaging in ways in which you are breaking the glass ceiling in your, not only in your mind, but in how it is that you operate as a leader. So it's like, if you want to be a leader, you got to accept it and lead. You got to understand it and lead. You got to stand in it and lead. So today we are talking about leadership titles versus responsibility. Leadership titles versus responsibility. And I'm putting this in the category with the mask wearing series or the mask wearing conversations that we've been having over the past couple weeks, because there are a variety of ways in which we tend to shy away from what has been provided for us or what has been presented to us as a leader in the space in which we work. And so when you think about your role as a leader, are you standing in a space and wondering, why are you getting passed over, or why are people not hearing your voice when you communicate what it is that you would like to do or what it is that you want to lead in? And the question to really understand is, are you showing yourself that you're beyond having the title? Does the title present the game changing moment in a way that without the title, you're not going to be a leader, but with the title, you feel like you're going to be able to step right into it and be unapologetically, like being able to do whatever it is you need to do? So you have to really think about your actions and your behaviors and what you are responsible for when you take in and step into this space of saying, yes, I would like to be in leadership. Yes, I would like to be the one that is leading or guiding and nurturing how individuals grow. But where do you need to pull the curtain back so that you can not only support yourself as a leader, but be that catalyst and be that resource to all of those who come in contact with you in a way that they know where you stand, they know and can see your capacity, and that you are consistently doing what it is that you need to do, to show that you're not just looking for the title, you're willing to do the work. You're willing to roll up your sleeves, and you're willing to activate change, no matter if it requires you to take a risk and have areas where you're building that breathing room, and knowing how your beliefs and your mindset are going to kind of reshape how it is that you lead forward. And so when you're doing this, and one of your roles in leadership is that you have to, one, realize that you are always being like, you're always on stage. You're always in like active mode. You're always like in the place of knowing how it is that you would like to lead. However, you often have to take a mirror check, because if you are thinking that you should be doubting how you are leading, if you are thinking that, okay, I'm not sure if I should be in this space or not, then you question your transformation on your own. But not only do you question it, is your goals clear? Are your intentions specific? And are you ready to activate who it is that you would like to be with the title, with the leadership title? But as a leader, we wear masks all the time, because in wearing the mask, we feel protected. In wearing the mask, we're like, okay, we can't do team too much, or we can't over function. Now, I don't want you to over function, but I do want you to understand that in order to have the title that you're seeking to match either the pay increase, the promotion, the next project that you're looking for, you're going to have to peel back some of that mask. You're going to have to peel back some of that thinking that you're doing way too much or doing more than what your current role. If you are not, if you're only focused in tunnel vision on your current role, and you don't have a horizon that you're looking towards, then are you really feeling validation and supported, and that you are growing in the breathing room that you give yourself? Because in thinking about how you are performing today, and where it is that you stand in your role as a leader today, if you're only looking at today, there's probably very minimal chance that executive team and other people will say, let's delegate this task to this individual, because um we haven't seen any evidence that you can manage it, that you can handle it, that you can deal with the conflict, you can take the risk. So are you waiting on a title, or are you willing to take the responsibility of doing the work? Because behind the scenes, people want what the outcomes are. They want to see the success that you have secured. However, if they only knew what's behind that curtain, what's behind that mask, then they may second guess it. However, you may have a purposeful intention and place an assignment that says you have what it takes to stand in this leadership role, and the title does not define you. What has been on the external does not define you. So the thing that causes the conflict is, how are you leading in your today's identified position? How are you leading in your today view of yourself? How are you understanding how your daily divorce of self, that conversation that has you renegotiating your position with how it is that you show up in the workplace? Like, how are you really like positioning yourself and understanding how it is that you will level up? Good morning. Thank you for joining. So it's like making sure that you know when comfortability. Remember, we don't grow when we're comfortable. We only grow when we are comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if you become comfortable, and as a leader, you will then only stand in the space that you feel like you're assigned, as opposed to understanding and standing in that balancing act of not compartmentalizing who you are in a certain space. So, does the title define how much you will lead and how much you will follow the assignment and understanding what your responsibility is? Or are you willing to do the work that could be both personal development as well as professional development, and then merging them together so that you could be phenomenal? Is life is not necessarily in a competing agenda with you. However, life is positioning you for different things. And when you hide that officially means, then you actually end up challenging yourself and limiting yourself to only have the role that you're in today versus having that projected view of what it looks like. And some people get intimidated by the title because of what they think that they don't have the capacity for. However, how are you nurturing and building yourself up? It takes a side by side walk of both personal and professional development, but having a strategic approach around how it is that you balance yourself. And so I came across this quote that I felt was appropriate. It says, life is not a competition. It's about helping and inspiring others so that we can reach our potential. So it's not you only knowing the potential that you have, but the capacity to identify the strengths and bridge the gaps between those who surround you, those who you influence, and realize that no, they're not trying to get your job. But then again, if they are you nurturing them for your position? Because when you land and stand in your role and do the work, you're going to be elevated. So don't you need to elevate the other person? Don't you need someone else to be able to not necessarily follow in your shoes, but to be able to stand in their authority as well? So being that leader is not about competition. It's not about comparing your skill set to someone else, but we shy away from the total responsibility. And when you do that, you end up actually pulling a cover over your mask that says, okay, I don't think I want that. I don't think I really want to go that far into it, because you may have some other narratives that happen in your daily divorce of self when you're preparing to walk into the workplace, when you're preparing your outfit for the day based on who it is that you're going to meet with, based on what conversations you know that you're going to have. And then there's those conversations that you have no idea that's going to occur. So it's like, are you looking at your potential? Are you looking at your broad scope? Are you understanding that you lead a group of people and an organization to understand not necessarily just the tunnel vision narrative, but the broader scope of what we can grow into? As someone said in the comments, everybody wants to be a leader, but they don't necessarily want to do the work. And you have to do the mirror check, because if you're carrying energy from previous work situations, you tend to narrow your ability, because you're now not only holding yourself accountable to what you should have learned from that past experience, but you're also holding other people accountable in judgment without even knowing their full capacity or their intentions. So when you think about your role as a leader, I'm sure that there's some way in a daily conversation that you take risk. You take personal risk, you take emotional risk, you also take financial risk in certain ways when you're trying to challenge the status quo. If the status quo is working, but yet you have some things that you want to navigate and level it up, then that's going to be a risk, because not only are you trying to push something outside of the boundaries that have been put in place, you are pushing the boundaries so that it can kind of build and help individuals see themselves in a different light. So their mirror check you're offering to them is helping them to level up. But if you're not taking those risks that is going to challenge the same old day to day in and out, you're not being responsible to your assignment as a leader in not only the space that you're in now, but again, to all things that you influence on a day-to-day basis. So you're motivating not only yourself to achieve better, but you're also looking at the opportunities that lie for you, and then all of those who are surviving and striving with you. Because in the hashtag survivor to CEO, there are things that you learn from. There are things that have informed you to either pause and put that mask on. And then there are some things that you have actually worked through what those challenges are. There's somebody challenging you that may look like they're picking on you, it's conflict, you can never do anything right or wrong. Or you could probably do some things wrong, but they never see the right, then that means how can you change the perspective of how you download, how you present yourself, how you share the information of what it is that you're taking a risk to inform and educate them around, to ensure that you're not saying that the status quo that we've done so far is not beneficial, but we want to have a different perspective. We want to have a different mirror check. We want to do a different projection for what the next 3 weeks can entail, what the next 3 months can entail, how we can position ourselves for something that's upcoming. But when you don't stand where you are today and show that you can be responsible today as well as for those future projections, but yet you want the title, you want the promotion, you want the pay increase, you're standing in your own way. And that personal and professional development is that mirror check that as a leadership strategist, I'm able to kind of help you navigate and pull out all of that trash, because that mind trash that you have, that physical trash, how it is that you are navigating on a day-to-day basis, you're going from one scene, one opportunity to the next, and not really being responsible to looking at how it is that you can build your breathing room and understanding what is being responsible. So whatever career injuries that you've had challenge you in a way that your communication may not always be transparent and or constructive. So you also have to check your tone, how you say things, how you do things, and how you do the presentation. Is it condescending? Is it I'm above you all because I am the boss? So there's a difference between boss and leader, and we can talk about that in another conversation, because sometimes that title that people are looking for is to be that authoritarian and overseeing and having the responsibilities, but not really hearing and understanding the strength of those individuals who are working around them. But again, boss versus leader is a conversation for another day. And, we can kind of, dive into that a little bit differently. But a responsible leader is willing to be held accountable for the consequences of their actions when they take those risks that make sure that everybody is standing in their authority, that we all have the same potential to kind of level up. Because remember, life is not a competition. Life is about helping others, helping and inspiring others so that we can all reach our potential. So when you're being responsible, you are taking a total perspective of what is being said, what is being done, what's the timelines. Are they really managing and balancing everything? Or are you really taking that clear understanding of knowing what do you need to code switch, not only for you, but then pulling back that curtain so that you could just be honest. You can have that honest inventory of, okay, I'm not strong in this, but I have a team member who can support and build, because it doesn't matter that I'm their supervisor, they're my counterpart, whatever role or title that they have a skill set that's going to build the project overall. And as opposed to feeling like you're in competition, the code switch or the 2 millimeter shift is, what is the responsibility of the title? And can you stand in that title and be able to get the work done without having the back and forth conversation in your head, in your mind, and in your productivity? You are actually slowing down productivity by having this back and forth dialogue that shows that, do you trust who you are in this space? Do you trust that you have the capacity to do what is necessary? Do you trust that you can engage and identify with whoever is on your team, whoever you are influencing, to make sure that the energy that you're carrying, the way that you're conveying, that everything is transparent, such that you're standing in your authority for how it is that you're leading. You're doing the work for you individually, but you're also doing the work and preparing to take those risks to not only build up those around you, but then also preparing for positioning yourself for that promotion that you desire and definitely deserve, in order to put your life in a balance the way that you would like to. So you got to be unwilling to unlearn the thoughts and experiences that have shaped how you feel today, that shape how you function today. Yes, the previous work experiences, challenges, risks that you've taken may not have had the outcome that you're looking for, but how long will you continue to allow history to drive your future? History should only drive your future as a leader when you take the authority to understand, okay, that was a season that I needed to learn, and then identify what is it that you learned about you, and then the space of leadership that you were in that season. And then once you do that, can you peel back the layers and say, what are the strengths that you are taking now from that experience, that career injury, that moment in time, that is going to build you up for what you need to unlearn in your newer experiences, that's giving you the opportunity to make it work? And so strategy and balance is key. Like, having the strategy, the know-how, how to dig into that toolkit, how to understand when your brain is going back and forth and causing you to identify or look as if you are not 100% on board with the growth in the breathing room that you need. But having that strategy is going to be the balance, and having strategy and balance together is going to be that instrumental step that's going to allow you to ensure that you as the leader are not shrinking to make other people comfortable, that you are leading and you understand your role of today's conversation, and you also understand your role as a leader moving forward. So you know for a fact that in order to stand in your authority, to stand unapologetically, that you have to do the work that's unseen. You have to pull the mask off so that you are not hiding behind old experiences that do not serve you in that capacity. They serve you because, again, there's levels to what you learned in that opportunity. However, if you're shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable, then you're possibly in the wrong room at the wrong table, attempting to lead unapologetically. And you have to realize that when you have outgrown the space that you were in. So you should never shrink yourself for the comfort of other people, because once you do that, you're no longer have the desire to get up and lead unapologetically and stand in your voice of authority, and trying to get a try to thinking about the breaking the glass ceiling. The glass ceiling has already been limited in your mind because you have decided to shrink. You made the decision to be comfortable for other people versus understanding that your assignment to level up causes you to recognize when you have outgrown the roles and assignment. Yes, there's things to be comfortable with. However, you can't stay in a comfortable space and always expect to have the outcome that your intentions show, your productivity of how it is that you're going to move forward. So if you're choosing to shrink for other people's comfort, then you're choosing to not live in your assigned authority as a leader, and also doing that personal work. Now, that personal work can get very, very challenging, and that's the reason why strategy and toolkits and positioning yourself with the right goals of being clear is going to help you to snatch your way up to bossing, like understanding what is bossing you around and how it is that you can lead phenomenally, bodaciously, and authentic in your role, how it is that you want to be promoted. So, like, change your programming. Understanding that excuses are only delays for what is already you're entitled to and deserve. So like, if you want to sit in one space and stay in that one space, make an excuse. There's plenty available. But is the excuse going to help you level up in a way that you're going to move from the holding pattern and get the promotion that you want? And then recognizing how it is that you leverage the skills that you have in a way that your mindset makes the shift of the intentions that you need, and how you survive to your CEO status, and whatever that CEO status is for you, it's your level up playing field. Don't mean that the title has to be CEO at the end, but you're still moving towards what that CEO status looks like to you. And if you're choosing to stay stuck in what you're surviving from, or those career injuries, or even possible personal things that influence your ability to take risks and understand the influence that you have and responsibility beyond the title, either you're going to love leadership or you're going to hate leadership. I would hope that you would love leadership, because it gives you the autonomy, it gives you gifts, it gives you the freedom to, just kind of be who you are on a day-to-day basis. But sometimes there are moments that cause you to be uncomfortable, that cause you to have some level of fear, that cause you to kind of pause in a way that you're like, okay, am I wearing my mask? Should I wear my mask? Or realizing that you're always in front of somebody. So you're always on the stage. But that doesn't mean that if you are stage fright, that you don't deserve to be promoted and well paid, and leverage the skills that you have, such that you can be not only productive, but also strong in your space that you have been assigned to be in. And again, those assignments that you have, you got to make sure you're paying attention to the right energy force on who and what assigns you where. Because just because someone else see a strength in you, or someone else says, okay, well, yeah, we're going to give you this assignment, you have to take a honest inventory and say, is this assignment truly for me, or is this assignment for me for a season? You put the time frame on it, because then again, you don't have handcuffs. You don't have a glass ceiling. The glass ceiling that exists for you saying, I can only earn up to this amount, or I can only obtain this particular title or job, because it's all self-created from experiences of career injuries that you have had in a variety of different situations. But once you begin to develop that breathing room, do that honest inventory and that mirror check, you'll be able to understand that you don't have to shrink yourselves for the comfort of other people. You can understand that strategy and balance is key, and you can position yourself to know how and what it is that you need to do differently when you have that personal inventory that could include a leadership blueprint. So in the leadership blueprint, you're able to kind of get a clarity of what are some of your roadblocks, what are some of the things that limit you, how do you really, really show up or not show up as a leader in your space, and where do you need to pull the curtain back, because wearing that mask is not serving you, and it's not serving you, and you have blind spots because you choose to be comfortable. So that is my leadership nugget for you for today. And I hope that you have found some value in this. You can share your thoughts, comments, love, and critiques in the comments, and I'll come back and I'll share some love. But we're here each and every Tuesday with your morning nuggets during your commute, or however it is you prepare for your day. And I thank you for being here live and or on the replay. If this message not only set well with you, but also set well, you think that somebody else could benefit, feel free to share. Feel free to invite others to come to the conversation on a Tuesday morning, such that we can engage and we can have the space and share it together. So it's like, my goal is that how you can not that where you don't have to show up wearing a mask every single day, and that you can have the position, the raise, the life you desire, with the key of balance and strategy. Strategy is the part that is missing in most times. And having that strategy to be able to pour into your cup on a consistent basis takes an investment that is just the first step of having that breakthrough strategy session. And when I say strategy sessions, really, really identifying where are your roadblocks and what do you want to do about it. So until next week, I thank you all for joining our space and our conversation. And I always promise to only be in your way for like no more than 30 minutes. So we are at that mark. And I look forward to seeing you next week. You all have a safe and enjoyable day and productive week.